What's up, y'all? This is Rich coming at you with another lens review. Today we are taking a look at a very unique lens. This is the SMC Pentax Zoom. This is a 45 to 125 mil lens with an aperture of 4. So this has a zoom. It goes up to 22 on the aperture. Very unique. I really haven't seen other focal ranges like this. So I'm excited to kind of go over it with you. Alright, before we get into it, just let's thank God for the ability to take these amazing photos. If it wasn't for Him, we wouldn't have been able to take any of these amazing photos, so thank God for that. Alright, let's go over the 4 categories. We're talking about affordability, the accessibility, the build quality, and the versatility of this exact lens right here. So let's get into it. First off, let's talk about the affordability. I give this a 5 on the affordability. So the copies of this lens are literally like $70 plus. I don't think it goes very much over that. It's like 70 to 120. So the affordability for a older lens like this, I think it is definitely not that affordable. I'm gonna give it a 5. It's not stupid expensive, but it is definitely not the most affordable lens out there. So that one's gonna be a 5. That's already way more expensive than I would recommend to buy for something with such a limited focal range. Next, let's talk about the accessibility of this lens. I rated that a 3. This is not that easy to use. This is not an easy lens to use. You have a very limited focal range. Not only that, but for some reason, the focal, like you just find yourself wanting to twist the focus ring so much more than what you can do. Like it's like, and usually what has helped is like stepping back, and I have to step back so far from the subject just to be able to get the right focus, more so than what I would think with a 45 millimeter range. When I switch it over to 45, I imagine I can be a lot closer than what I am, but I'm literally having to go more than what this says. It says I have to be about 1.5 meters or about 5 feet away from my subjects to get that closer focal range, but I legitimately feel like I have to be 7 to 8 feet away from my subject in order to even start to get some clarity. So that is something that makes it extremely inaccessible to use. It's extremely heavy, and it makes your camera body heavy. This is the first time I've gone out there with a camera lens and felt exhausted afterwards. Like, I'm ready to put this down. I'm done. I don't want to keep shooting. So next, let's talk about the build quality. The build quality on this is a 7. It is solid construction metal. The glass is really immaculate. It did get a lot of dust in there. Taking it apart is not that easy. But it is a pretty solid construction. It does have a lot of zoom creep, which was very annoying, and that's why I rated it a 7. Usually I rate these about a 9, especially for the primes, but the zoom creep is just an annoyance, and the fact that it's quite difficult to take apart is what gave me to lend it to about a 7 on the build quality. So next, let's talk about the versatility of this lens. I gave it a 3. There is not a lot of versatility of this lens. It did not shine in product shots. It did not shine in landscaping. It was like, it's a 45 millimeter to 125. So I thought there was at least the 45 to 80 millimeter range that would really work really well or lend itself to street photography. But it did not. There was a lot of different shots I tried to take. I tried to take distance shots, stuff like that. It did not work very well. It was very complicated to find to be able to be a certain distance from every single one of the subjects and having to focus and try and find that focus. Like I said, I was hunting for focus so much, and that's what really negated the experience for me when it came to this. So it's not that versatile. Where I found this lens shown the most was in portraits. When I was doing portraits of people, it did shine pretty good, and I got some decent shots. But in others like this, I had to stand so far back, and I took maybe like 10-20 shots, not 10-20 shots, that's an exaggeration. I had to take like 5 shots before I was able to actually get it into a good focus. And here we have a portrait, which you'll see at the end, that did get a lot of poppy and colorness. When it did shoot, it was good. When it happened, it happened. But when it wasn't happening, which was about 70% of the time, it was annoying. So overall, I gave this lens a total score with everything added together of 4.5, and I think that's completely justified for this lens. It's a cool gimmicky lens, but it is not one to use. For a beginning photographer, I highly suggest you stay far away from it. Do not touch this lens. For a semi-pro or professional photographer, again, I wouldn't recommend this lens. It has no value whatsoever to add to your kit other than weight. If you're training and you want to be, super strong and make your camera bag super heavy or make your camera super heavy, this would probably be a good lens to try out to begin with, that to be able to just walk around the street and shoot, if you can never actually find the focus. Other than that, like I said, the only place where it really shone is when I was taking portraits. When I was able to hit the portraits right, it did create this almost magical little quality to these portraits. It was just this little glimmer of magic that happened when I did get those portraits, which depresses me because that makes it's like, dang it, there's that one key feature of this lens that I really, really like. Can I achieve that with some other lenses? Probably, but there was just something about the poppiness, the colors, the edge-to-edge clearness when I did get those good portraits. But that's all something with modern technology and post and with a ton of different lenses that we have nowadays that can be highly achievable. So this one is definitely going to be one that looks cool. It's fun to have as kind of a novelty lens, but it is definitely not one that I ever find myself wanting to pick up and use again. So I highly recommend against this lens. Do not get it. It is not worth it, other than maybe to do some curls with. Alright guys, at the end of this video you will see all the photos unedited, so you can take a look and kind of see what I'm talking about with this lens. Other than that, thanks for watching. God bless. I'll see you guys later.